In the silence of our lives, we often encounter relationships that are laced with suffering, entanglement, and emotional turmoil. These connections drain us, pulling us from the clarity of our inner path and enslaving us to destructive emotions. We find ourselves asking, why? Why do we persist in bonds that corrode the very essence of our being? The answer lies not in the behavior of others, but within ourselves. It is our inability to act with wisdom, to temper our emotions, and to confront reality with the calm rationality that Stoicism teaches. It is the loss of our inner citadel, the fortified place of strength that remains untouched by external chaos. A path of liberation. The Stoic path offers us liberation, a way out of harmful relationships, not through bitterness or hatred, but through wisdom and detachment. Epictetus, the freed slave turned philosopher, once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Harmful relationships flourish when we allow others to control our reactions, when we hand over our peace to the whims and actions of another, yet we are not powerless. In the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who ruled with a profound Stoic mind, we find the key. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. It is through this realization that we can dismantle the chains of harmful relationships. For it is not the relationship itself that harms us. It is our attachment, our misguided beliefs about what we need to endure. Clarity through reason. The Stoic mind does not blindly sever ties or react impulsively. It seeks clarity through reason. When faced with a relationship that no longer serves us, we must ask ourselves with ruthless honesty, does this connection help me grow, or does it degrade my character? Am I acting with virtue, or am I enslaved by fleeting emotions of fear, guilt, or desire? Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, reminds us, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Often, we cling to harmful relationships out of imagined fears, fear of loneliness, fear of the unknown, fear of the pain that may come from severing the bond. But these fears are illusions, mere shadows projected by a mind untrained in virtue. The Stoic embraces reality as it is, not as our fears would have it be. We must face the truth. A relationship that harms us is a relationship that pulls us away from our path to virtue. And in Stoic philosophy, virtue, living in accordance with reason and nature, is the highest good. Anything that deters us from this goal must be met with indifference, and if necessary, removed from our lives. Not out of malice, but out of wisdom. The practice of detachment. To detach from harmful relationships, we must first detach from the emotions that bind us. Anger, resentment, bitterness, these are the very emotions that Stoicism teaches us to overcome. They cloud our judgment, inflame our passions, and lead us down the path of destruction. The Stoic response is to cultivate apatheia, not the numbness of emotionless living, but the tranquility that comes from mastering one's own reactions. When we let go of the need to control others, when we no longer demand that they behave in a certain way for our happiness, we free ourselves. As Epictetus teaches, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Relationships are often beyond our control. How others behave, think, or feel cannot be dictated by our will. But how we respond, what we tolerate, and how we choose to move forward are entirely within our grasp. The Stoics' courage to end. Ending a harmful relationship requires immense courage. It requires us to face the discomfort of change, the uncertainty of what lies ahead, and the raw vulnerability of standing alone. But this courage is born from Stoic clarity, from understanding that to hold on to what destroys us is the greatest act of cowardice. As Marcus Aurelius so wisely wrote, "Do not be afraid to give up what is not truly yours." We fear letting go because we believe we need these connections to survive, to be whole. Yet the Stoics remind us that we are whole within ourselves. Our strength comes not from others, but from within, from the virtues we cultivate and the wisdom we embody. The relationship you sever today may be the very thing that allows you to reclaim your own life, to rediscover the peace that is your birthright as a rational being. A higher purpose. But what do we do with the love that remains, with the memories of joy intertwined with the pain? Stoicism does not demand that we erase or forget. It teaches us to transform, to take the lessons from every relationship, good or bad, and use them to refine our character, to deepen our understanding of ourselves and others. We can part from someone in peace, not with the venom of resentment, but with gratitude for the lessons learned, for the strength gained. As Seneca said, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. The end of a harmful relationship is not a failure, but a necessary step toward a new chapter. A chapter where we live in harmony with ourselves, where we prioritize the cultivation of virtue over the indulgence of toxic emotions. We move forward, together. As we stand at the threshold of change, we must remember, we are not alone in this journey. We are part of a greater human experience, one in which many before us have faced the same struggles. The Stoic path is not one of isolation but of connection, connection to the wisdom of the past, to the strength of those who have walked this path before, and to the collective resolve of all who seek a life of clarity and purpose. Together, we embrace the Stoic way, knowing that it is through self-control, through the mastery of our emotions, and through the courageous act of letting go, that we find true freedom. Harmful relationships may try to bind us, but with Stoic clarity we stand unshaken. We walk forward, free and fortified by the wisdom that only comes from embracing the reality of what is, rather than clinging to the illusion of what was. Conclusion. In the end, we are all on this journey of self-discovery and self-mastery. Harmful relationships are not merely obstacles, they are opportunities. They reveal where our weaknesses lie, where our attachments have taken root, and where we must grow stronger. With Stoicism as our guide, we can transform these experiences into sources of wisdom and strength. As Marcus Aurelius taught, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. So let us use these impediments, the harmful relationships that once clouded our path, to propel us forward. Let us find clarity in the storm, wisdom in the struggle, and strength in the very act of letting go. For in the end, we do not merely survive harmful relationships, we transcend them.